is good, people? It's Adamski back with some more HTML tutorial, and in this video we are going to be talking about forms. We're also going to be talking about forms in possibly the next video. In this, I'm just going to give a basic run through of your basic form fill out. You may have noticed here, I already got set up. I'm going to talk about labels. I'm going to talk about text boxes. I'm going to talk about password text boxes. I'm also going to talk about you know larger text boxes, also called text areas in HTML, and also buttons. So let's get started. I already have it filled out here, saved as forms1.html in the YouTube folder, or on the desktop if you prefer. Just for the sake of um, review, you got the basic setup, doc type, you got the open and closing HTML tags, open and closing head tags, the title within the head tags, and then the body right after the head. Alright, so this is where we are going to talk about something new. We're going to talk about forms. As you know, forms are very important in website development. You've seen forms. You go on Google, you go on YouTube, any place you have to sign up for something, there is always a form. And just to start off, a form is a form tag, an opening and a closing form tag. Now within the opening form tag, it takes some attributes. You notice there's a name attribute. This just names the form that we're using, and it takes the value of my form. You could call it whatever you want. It's just a name to refer to this form, because you may have multiple forms in a web page. So that is good. These other two attributes, action and method, are included in a form, but for the sake of this discussion, I will not discuss them right here. Just know that action and method are usually attributes that are provided in the form opening tag. This is actually for another programming language. It's PHP, server-side scripting, but we will not discuss that just yet. You may also see this new tag show up within the form tag. This is where we're going to lay out our form between these form tags. It's a field set tag, and basically it separates, it basically groups up input tags, these input tags. So basically this first field set describes the text area where you will fill out information. So basically that's what this first field set does, is it allows you to fill out information. And you see another field set down here, field set tags, and it describes buttons. So just know that. You can actually see, hopefully you can see the division between the two. Here is the first field set right here, and here's the second field set. So just a separation between what we input and our buttons. That's what it is. Alright, back to the HTML. Within the first set of field set tags, we have another new tag, label, the very first label. And the label tags does take an attribute for. Basically the for just describes the label that we're using. So first name is the name of our label. And under that, I have another new tag. It's an input tag, and an input tag of type text, which is just type text box, but they shorten it up to text. And it also takes the name of first name, and this is just a way to refer to this text box, with a name of first name. So that is that. I have another few more examples just to clarify that. We have another label here. Our second label is for last name. You can see that's what we call it here, last name. And then we have another input tag right under that, type text box with a name attribute of last name. And that once again just describes what we're looking for in that text box. And then once again, third label is for username. We got the username right here, input type text, and the name is username. And then once again for email, label for email, and it is called email. I actually forgot the colon there. There we go. Put that in there. Input type text name is email. Alright, so those are text boxes right here. And that is these first four text boxes right here. Notice you could type stuff in, um, and that's what we get. We get characters within those text boxes. Now you may notice password is also a text box, but it takes a different type in its input. So we got a label for password, basic, basic structure for a label. You for password, and then call password. I forgot the colon again. And then input type instead of text, we say password. And you're going to see why we say password here in a second, and we name it password. So we go back to the web page, and if we type in the text box for the password, since it is declared type password, it doesn't show up as letters, it shows up as dots, like you would imagine. And there's this little icon right here where you can see your letters. You just hold the mouse button, and it shows up. So that's good for entering passwords. Nobody else can see your password, what you're typing, so that is good. Alright, so the next, I guess you could call it a text box. It's a bigger text box for maybe you need more than one line of characters, which text box usually, like this text box, it won't word wrap down to the next line, but this one, it will word wrap down to the next line. So how do we do that? Well, it's another new tag. We got first we got the label for comments, and then we got comments, and then it's a text area tag, opening and closing, which is different from these input tags. All these input tags are self-closing, as you may have noticed. All of them are. And the text area, it takes in a name attribute, and I've named it comments. Another thing that you might want to do is specify the rows and columns, the number count for the rows and columns. ROWS is rows attribute. You can give it any value you want. I'm going to give it rows, let's give it 10. And then the other one is columns, it's COLS equals quotation marks, and then we'll just say 30. I'll go ahead and save that, and it should pop up here, and it'll actually be bigger than this. There it is. So it goes down multiple lines, and I think once we get past the point where it's blocked, it gives us a scroll bar. Yep. So we could go up and down. Yep. So that is the input tags that I wanted to discuss today. There are actually other input tags out there that I'll probably discuss in the next video. But that is it for the input tags. As for the second field set here, down here, this field set holds buttons. Now, there are 3 different types that you can clarify in the input. First one is submit. Type submit. It will just have a submit button, and the value is what's displayed text-wise in the text box. So if I go back to that web page, submit, and the value is right here. Submit. Not here. This is the type. This is the value. See, what I could do is I could change this. It could be like submit here, and it should change, and it does. So that's type submit. Now there's another button, type reset. You can already tell what reset does. Reset just clears your form. So if I type some stuff in here and click the clear button, I valued it as clear, which is what shows up as the text, and it just clears the form out. Now if your button is not a submit button, then you could just clarify that as just type button, and that will also work for the button. So if you want to just explicitly say button, you can go ahead and say type equals button, and the value I just gave is button. Heck, I could give it the same value as just submit, and that's not right, that's the folder, and it changes to submit. So that's what I wanted to discuss in this video are buttons, text boxes, the password text box, the text area, which is the bigger text box, and these buttons. Also, I want to discuss field set. Field set separates your form a little bit better, and then obviously the form tag. So in the next video, I will be discussing the other types of inputs, which is drop-down menus, checkboxes, radio buttons, and I feel like there's another one, but wait, no, I think that's it. And also in the next video, I'll show you a complete version of this whole form with text boxes, text areas, checkboxes, radio buttons, all that, all those buttons and stuff. So that's what we look forward in the next video. Once again, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to shoot me an email on YouTube, and I'll answer your question as best of my ability. If you want me to make another video, maybe describing some sort aspect of HTML, I will do that. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching this video. Later.